So I'm in a little restaurant near Konkuk University. That's just north of the Han River, right across the river from Gangnam, where Psy did his Gangnam Style video. Eating at a little place called Chuk Story. Chuk is a rice porridge, and in this case, that's my rice porridge. And it's got abalone, pine, mushrooms. Not sure what part of the pine, but you know, like Yul Gibbons used to always say, some parts are edible, so we'll give it a try. And of course, in Korea, everything comes with a lot of these little tiny side dishes that you see. Okay, so here we go. Let me get this to where you can see what I'm eating here. I'm going to give this stuff a try. So we got this nice big spoon right here to use to give it a taste. Oh, too hot to taste. Absolutely delicious. You can see the little bits of abalone in there. Got a nice sauce to it. See what some of these things are. Those little dudes there they don't want to get caught. It's got a pickled radish. Really nice. I like that. There's also something pickled, probably pickled seaweed. That's even better. Absolutely fantastic. Some kimchi. Not usually a big fan of kimchi, but we'll give it a try. Good. It's good this time around. So, that's my first attempt at rice stew. Abalone and pine and mushrooms. Very nice. I'll definitely eat that again. So stay tuned, and I'll be back with some street food later. See that mountain right up ahead of me there? I just climbed that and came back down. I was going to hold out for a decent breakfast, but I'm going to have to slum here. I'm just way too worn out from that climb to be able to shop around and find something. Plus, things don't seem to open until around 11 a.m. here, and it's only about 9 now. So I'm going to have a couple of pastries and some Pocari Sweat. If you're not familiar with Pocari Sweat, it's like the Asian version of Gatorade, except that instead of being made by a beverage company, it's actually made by a pharmaceutical company and is designed to be an exact replacement of what you lose when you sweat. So all of your minerals and electrolytes that your body's losing, this replaces it. It's actually really delicious tasting too. I drink it back home as well, but it's very expensive in the States. It's much cheaper here. So I'm just sitting at a little 7-Eleven store. As you can see all around me, this is where I'm sitting. And most 7-Elevens and other small grocery stores usually have a few tables outside, at least during the summer months, so you can sit outside and enjoy yourself. Okay, so here I am in a place that specializes in chimdak. I'm not quite sure exactly what that is. It's something very saucy. I'm going to be getting mine with some chicken in it, and God knows what else. The guy working here can't even explain to me what it is. His English is a little broken. I'm going to have some Height Extra Cold, which is brewed by the same people that brew Cass, so it's a brew that's native to South Korea. I had the Cass at the baseball game last night. Absolutely fantastic lager, and it is endorsed by Gordon Ramsay, the chef. Get a couple little side dishes with it. Those are obviously some kind of pickled vegetables, probably like daikon radish. And this, I have absolutely no idea what that is. It looks like some cabbage with some kind of interesting yellow sauce and some cereal on top. That'll be interesting. One thing I thought was really cool about this place is they have a drawer right here at the table so that you can get your own silverware and your own napkin and everything when you're ready for it. So I'll be right back as soon as I get my main course. Meanwhile, I'll have some of this beer and these tasty side dishes. All right, so it looks like my main course has finally come out. Looks absolutely delicious. So I looked up the Jim Doc online, and basically what it says it is braised chicken and vegetables and a special Korean soy sauce. And it almost looks like it's got some dumplings or something in there as well. I have to dip into those and let you know. Some sesame seeds on top, and also this little mixed salad here. This is a cabbage salad. The yellow dressing is absolutely fantastic. It tastes like it's something lemon based. Absolutely delicious. The beer is really good. The pickled daikon is probably the best I've ever had anywhere, and of course I devoured that quickly. Also wanted to point out where this particular restaurant is located. I'm up on the second floor. That's actually looking down into a highway that's going down under the main road. Actually, it's going under the railroad station, this local. This is a very common place in Korea to be on the second floor, third floor, fourth floor in a restaurant. As a matter of fact, my hotel I'm staying at is on the third and fourth floors only, and there is no elevator. You have to take steps up to everything. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and dive into this and let you know how it is. Okay, so I've had a chance to give this a try. This is absolutely the most amazing thing I have ever eaten. It's a soy-based sauce that is both sweet and spicy. Of course, they like a lot of spicy food in Korea. Just about everything here's got spice. Even if you just get ramen, it's got that red pepper sauce that they put in everything. So it's got the slimy looking things there are thick, chewy rice noodles. It's got well-cooked onions. It's got the chunks of braised chicken. It's got rice cakes. That's what the long, stick-shaped white things are. It's got some green onions in there. And best of all, it's even got some full-blown dim sum. That's the dumpling you see to the right side there with a kind of pattern on it, kind of a swirl pattern. It's got everything you could ever want all in one meal, and this is a small. I originally ordered a medium, and they literally came out and told me, no, you don't want that. That's for like multiple people. Small is big enough. So I backed down and went with small, and it's a good thing because otherwise I'd be 10 pounds heavier before I got out of this place. This is absolutely amazing. I would endorse this for anybody that wants to give it a try. Alright, so I'm about to jump down into this little alleyway right here, which this time of night is basically a street food fest. Open every night, 7 days a week. Starts around 5 p.m., closes around 2 a.m. At least some of them do. Many of them actually close a little earlier, but some of them stay open as late as 2 a.m. And the reason I'm doing this is because if you go into a restaurant here and they give you enough food for like 2 or 3 people, it has something to do with their high metabolism, and they don't seem to know what a doggy bag even is. They've never heard of such a thing. So you eat what's brought to the table, which is usually way more than I can eat. So the solution is just to get some simple street food. So let's take a hike down and see what we can find. All right, so I've been to this guy's stand before. I really like his food. So we're gonna try a few things here. I'll show you as I go. I'm starting right now with this thing right here. They call it a tornado potato. It's almost like one big continuous deep fried potato chip. And then you get to turn it in some of these sauces, or actually just powders. There's cheese, there's barbecue, and there's onion. And so you toss it in there and eat away. So he's making me a freshman right now. Also, before I leave, I'm going to try these things down here on the end. These skewers with fish cake on there. And I'll probably get one of my favorites here, which is the spicy rice cakes with a little bit of fish cake mixed in. There you guys make them one now. I didn't realize he even batters them a little bit too. So potato, puts a little bit of batter on it as well. So he's cooking us up one right now. Good stuff. I'll have it here shortly and I'll be able to show you what this is like. All right, so here we go. Here's the tornado potato. A little bit of breading on there, a little bit of batter. And then it's been deep fried and I've just tossed it in some onion powder. Let's give it a little try here and see what it's like. Absolutely amazing. Just like a huge onion potato chip. Got a ton of flavor to it, surprisingly. Yeah, with the onion on there, it's almost like getting one of those sour cream and green onion potato chips. Awesome stuff. So let me finish this off. I'm sure you don't want to watch me eat the whole thing, and we'll grab something else. Finally getting near the end here, so a nice man volunteered to come over and cut the stick down a little bit for me, make it easier to finish this off. So while I was ordering this, I met a really nice Australian man. Struck up a little conversation with him and eventually asked him if he was into cricket. And he said, no, actually, I'm into basketball, so I'm into an American sport. And I said, you know, that's funny because I'm an American and I played cricket for 11 years. He thought that was pretty comical. All right, I'm going to finish this delicious thing off and get something neat. All right, for my next trick, I'm going to make this egg bread disappear. Basically what this is just a piece of baked bread and there is a whole egg, just like a fried egg, you know, where you just leave the yolk intact in the center. So it's the whole egg baked right on top of this piece of bread. Let me give you a shot at what this looks like. So, there you go, the whole egg. That is absolutely amazing. So the bread is sweet. Almost more like cake. Obviously it's been using a little bit of sugar during the baking process. It's kind of caramelized on the outside. And the egg, on the other hand, is kind of salty. So you get that kind of a mixture of salty and sweet, sort of like a chocolate-covered pretzel or beer nuts, something like that. Good stuff. All right. Let me go ahead and finish this off and get right back to you. All right, so this next guy is going to get a little bit sloppy on me. This looks like a big noodle. And what it actually is it's fish cake. So it's like a white fish that's pulverized. A little something else blended in it. I would suspect maybe flour or something to thicken it. And a little bit of veggie in there. You'd have to see it. I don't see anybody that's gotten any around me. Looks like they've pre-made them all before they came. But anyway, there's some people can do some pretty neat, elaborate stuff with these. Different sizes and shapes and different ingredients added. Some of them in a stick, some of them in a ball, some of them in this big pancake-looking thing that's crinkled up on a stick. And so basically they let it sit in a broth, in a fish soup. And then afterwards you dab a little bit of brush on a little bit of soy sauce. And this is what you end up with. Let's give this a try. Not a real strong flavor, but it's really very good, very savory. Got a little bit of zing to it. Maybe they put a little bit of their hot pepper sauce in the sauce. but very good. Not fishy at all. Not like you would expect. Definitely something worthwhile to eat. Very nice. All right, so I'll let you go so I can finish this. So my nightly stop before bedtime has been Smoothie King. Reason being is, number one, I like smoothies, but also because the smoothies down here at Smoothie King are about half the price of what they are back home. And also they got a lot of really unique flavors here. So this is my third night stopping in. I started out with the pina colada, which was absolutely fantastic and tasted just like a pina colada minus the alcohol. Second night I hit elderberry. This was kind of a unique one, and it was absolutely amazing. One of the best things I've had down here. And then tonight, this one that you're seeing right now is Halobam. And what that is it's somewhere between an orange and a tangerine. And they are grown on the island of Jeju, which is off the southwest coast of South Korea. So it is a property of South Korea. It's really where all of the wealthy people go for their vacations. It's kind of a rich person's resort. So I'm going to give this a try. And my verdict is this stuff is absolutely incredible. I actually like the taste of it far better than oranges or tangerines. It's just something really unique about it. It almost has kind of a, in addition to tasting both like oranges and tangerines and like orange rind, it also has kind of a hint of pine, which is kind of interesting. Absolutely amazing. So there's other things down here too. They call them ADE, and what that is it's literally the tail end of words like lemonade, orangeade. And when they make them down here, sometimes they're still and sometimes they're sparkling. Either way, they're excellent. But they always go back, in addition to just making like, say, like orangeade, in addition to just having like sweet orange juice with some sparkling water in it, they'll actually put 2 or 3 little segments of orange in there as well, so it chops it up in there. They leave it kind of chunky somewhat. And then if you have a citrus fruit, like an orange, or I had grapefruit the other day, it was fantastic. They also shave some of the rind, and they cook it and candyfy it, and then they put that back in as well. So you have a little bits of the segment and little bits of candified rind in a nice sweet beverage with sparkling water. So I've had orange, I've had grapefruit, and I had white grape, which is kind of interesting. Green grapes, like table grapes, chopped up into like a grape-aid, and had little tiny bits of white grape floating around in it. Really, really good. Kind of creepy in the mouth because it's got a strange mouthfeel with those little bits of grape. Absolutely amazing taste. Okay, so I just stopped into this place, Pomato, for a little bit of breakfast. I'm getting ready to go up the mountain to the North Seoul Tower, but the cable car is not running this early. So I stopped in here where I'm going to get this cheese stuffed, deep fried pork cutlet, along with a couple sides and some sort of a sauce. So I'm going to give this a try and tell you what I think. So there you go. That was Pomato, right in the middle of this quaint little neighborhood. This is right at the base of Namsan Mountain, and now I'm going to be heading up to get on the Namsan cable car to go up to the North Seoul Tower. Namsan Tower as it's called. Been wanting to do this the whole trip, kind of saved it for last, but kind of needed to fortify myself before I climb one last mountain. Then tomorrow I'm off to Busan, down in the southeast corner of the country, for a completely different experience. Okay, very cool. So this is what the old lady was making. It's basically nothing but sugar. She just tosses some sugar in a little, I don't know, like a little handheld cauldron of sorts, puts it over fire, turns it into caramel, and before it's completely caramel, she takes it out and she tosses it in some fresh sugar. And of course that sugar changes to brown color because of the presence of the caramel, and she stamps a little image in it. Basically sells them for 1,000 won. That's like $1. So it's really a big chunk of candy for that. So I'm gonna try it, let you know how it is. Really surprising. I'm thinking really thick and chewy, just like eating caramel. No, it's actually really light and airy and crunchy. It's really easy to eat. Airy and crunchy, and it has the taste of like marshmallows just roasted over a campfire. Pretty good. I really like it. There was another guy right around the corner making a little bit bigger ones, but he wanted more too. So I'm happy with it. Good purchase. Okay, so I've been walking for a long time in the hot sun, going through an old traditional neighborhood in the north end of Seoul. Needed something to drink, so I came into this beautiful little tea house. It's down in an alleyway, barely wide enough for 2 people to walk abreast. I'm going to try a couple different drinks. The one here on the right, let me think about this. It's a rose calamansi lemonades. These are those ADE drinks I was talking about. So it's got some rose syrup in it. It's got lemons in it, obviously. It's lemonade. And calamansi. Calamansi are tiny little limes. Bigger and tastier than a key lime. A little more tart than a key lime, but not as big as the traditional lime that we're used to. They're native of the Philippines. That is absolutely amazing tasting. This one right here is, again, give me a second to think of what else in there. It is an apricot schizandra berry blueberry aid. I don't see any blueberry in there, but they assure me it's in there. And it tastes like it's in there. Schizandra berry is also known as a 5-flavored berry. I know absolutely nothing about it. I'll have to do a little more research when I get back. But these are both amazing drinks. Very refreshing. So soon I'll be able to get back on the road feeling good. Okay, so after an eternity, a day, decided to stop by this interesting place called the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. One of the most popular coffee houses throughout Seoul, possibly throughout Korea. I haven't been all around yet, so I really couldn't say. I'm able to sit up here on a second floor balcony and look out, watch life pass me by. So I enjoy and unwind with a nice caramel macchiato, one of my favorite drinks. I'll let you know how it tastes. Well, I gotta say, that tastes better than any caramel macchiato I've ever gotten back home. They're really coffee fanatics over here, so all of their coffee is absolutely premium grade, as they were in Japan. The Japanese coffee is extremely good too. All right, so I've switched major cities on you. I've gone from Seoul in the northwest side of South Korea to Busan, which is in the southeast corner of South Korea. I'm in a little neighborhood here called Nampo. And here is the Chigalchi fish market, which is what I'm looking for right now. The market is said to have seafood that the Koreans are the only people on the planet that eat. Sounds pretty tantalizing. Should be right down this street right here. I'm going to go find it. Oh, here it is. I found the place I've been looking for. This is the massive fish market. I'll tell you what, literally every vendor on this entire street sells seafood. You can get sashimi, which is uncooked seafood, like raw fish, like what you would get on a sushi roll. For sea life you didn't even know existed. This entire neighborhood just smells like fish. Anyway, let's go over here in this market and see what we can find. All right. So this is absolutely amazing. There's like every kind of seafood imaginable. There's probably, if you look at all the different alleys inside of here, there's probably easily 1,000 people in here shopping for seafood. This place is bigger than most department stores I've ever been in. Everything in here is seafood. Some of it is incredibly bizarre. These are sea squirts. I have no idea what those things are behind them, but they're pretty weird. I just had someone offer to make me some sashimi of those, so I may go back across the street to a restaurant and take her up on that offer. Some nice crabs. Not the kind we get off our coast. Kind of usually only find in Asia. Look at the size of that crab back there. That's a big crab. So I've stopped into where the woman was recruiting me to try some of the bizarre seafood, and as always, there is enough. This is just the sides that came out with it. This is going to be an enormous meal, and I really don't want anything quite this big, but well, we'll deal with it. So it looks like we've got kind of looks like pickled bamboo shoots and onions. That's going to be seaweed of some sort. A couple of very large prawns. And well, some nice chunks of octopus tentacle. Well, this ought to be a lot of fun. So, get right back to you as soon as I get the main course. Well, here goes. The main course has come over to me. And for better or for worse, this will be really interesting. This is what, for the lack of a better explanation, looked like an uncircumcised penis. Some sort of a sea creature. This is the inside of that big spiny looking thing that they call a sea squirt. I'm not sure. It's got roots on the bottom of it, so I don't know if it is a plant or an animal. Wow. Okay. So she just now brought me some grilled fish as well. I don't think I can eat all this. I think they're just like completely going off the deep end on me here. So let me see what I can do with some of this gross stuff. Okay, far be it from me to have anybody accuse me of making this up. So I guess I better having trouble even picking a piece of this up. I don't like these flat metal. Alright, I'm gonna have to get a spoon or something. I can't pick anything up with those. Alright, so here we go. Sashimi of the thing that looks like a penis. Interesting. It's not bad tasting. In fact, it's hardly tasting at all. Okay, so here we go. A couple more pieces of that. Really don't see the allurement of it. I don't know why anybody eats these things, but okay. It's interesting. And now, let me find like the least grotesque looking piece of the sea squirt. That's the big spiny thing. It can't tell if it's a plant or an animal. And there it is. And it's all slimy and yucky looking. Kind of a bitter aftertaste, but that is really tasty. I like that. Very salty. Still got seawater in it. And let me see. Now I'll try these goofy chopsticks again. I don't like this kind, but there we go. See if we can get a nice piece of octopus tentacle. Dropping it right on my phone. Octopus is actually really good. The tentacles are fantastic. Alright. So, I don't think there's anything else here that's really too bizarre. The fish and everything looks perfectly fine. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and eat some of this weird stuff. See you later on. Alright, time for a little rest and relaxation. I haven't had a chance to rest since I headed to the train station this afternoon to head to Busan, which is where I'm at now. That's Busan out the windows there. I just descended from the top of Busan Tower, which is similar to the one in Seoul, but not nearly as high, and it's on a much smaller mountain. This mountain, while it darn near killed me to get up here, pales in comparison to the mountain that North Seoul Tower is on. So I've been wanting to try this place. It's called a Tucson place. So it's all about coffee and dessert. So I thought I would sit back here, now that I'm completely thoroughly worn out, and have something to drink. This is a black sugar cafe latte, iced. Now, if you're wondering what that is, you're asking the wrong person, because I don't have a clue. But I'll try it, I'll let you know. Okay, so it's pretty interesting tasting. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that what makes it black is not the sugar itself. It's dark chocolate in powder form, most likely. It's a really strong black coffee. It's definitely got a couple shots of espresso in it. And the sugar part of it, while the black is probably dark cocoa powder, the sugar part of it is, as you can see right there, caramelized sugar. So it's kind of cooked a little bit. You can see some sticking there at the top of the glass there as well. Delicious. It's a little rich. Not really something you'd want to drink when you're burning up. You probably want to go for one of those aids that they sell here. But hey, it's great stuff, and it's a chance to relax. I needed a break. So I just came down from the peak of Mount Everest, from a very high point in Busan, in the rain, and it's got to be like over 80 degrees here. I'm absolutely exhausted. Had my little Pocari sweat on the way down so I wouldn't dehydrate. And I saw a little coffee shop, and in there I ran into this little gem. Now, I've heard of bubble tea. If you're not familiar with boba or bubble tea, they're basically little beads of tapioca, and they swell up, and you suck them through a rather large straw, as you can see, and just chew them. They're really good. Had them in tea before, never had one in a shake. So this is a berry shake with boba, with bubbles. So I'm going to sit here and enjoy this and cool off a little bit, because I am absolutely exhausted. Okay, so one bit of food the Koreans are famous for is Korean barbecue. So it's kind of rainy out here right now. I'm in the Hyundai neighborhood. It's a suburb of Busan. It's actually so big that it could literally, if they'd set up their own government, they could be an independent city and still be one of the largest cities in the entire country of South Korea. It's about, land mass wise, about twice the size of my hometown, and population wise about 4 times the size of my hometown. So I'm going to have a little bit of cast with this and get some very garlic smelling barbecue here. It's barbecue pork rib. They are raised on the island of Jeju, which is like the rich area where all the rich people go to vacation. Well, once again, just like everywhere here, you don't want to eat out and get a full meal. You want to eat street food because when you get a meal, this is what it looks like. So some leaves and such will be used with the pork. Now the nice lady came out and helped grill the pork. Look at all these sides. I mean, what do we do with all this? There's some sauce. There's some kimchi. If you're not familiar with kimchi, I think I might have mentioned it before. It's fermented cabbage, but they're typical red peppers. Corn. Not sure. We'll let you know. Onions and a sauce. This stuff, I don't know what the heck it is, but it's absolutely amazing. It's got like a vinaigrette kind of sauce to it. Garlic. Don't know if I want to just eat that straight. Got a little pancake sort of thing with some veggies in it. Don't recall what they're called, but they're always good. I've tried this many a time. They're better hot. These are cold, but okay. And egg. Just like a big pot full of egg. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be here forever. And it's all going to be great. So it smells like the pork is seasoned with like maybe some kind of garlic sauce. Looking forward to it. Okay, so this is probably going to be my last major meal in Korea. Decided to go with the barbecue again, only this one's being done correctly. She brought me some garlic and some sauce and literally put it on the grill. Also, this is not a gas burner like the last place. This is the real deal. This is the one that has the big stovepipe that hangs down from the ceiling. You might have seen those in videos and stuff. So it's a real charcoal fire, not briquettes, but actual charcoal, charred wood. Here we have some sort of a salad. It's got that typical pepper sauce, the same stuff that's on like kimchi. This time I'm going with Tara. Tara is an Australian beer. Some corn. All that was available tonight is beef. This place literally had a line around the block, so I had to go sit in the bar next door, which is really a nice bar. I sat there last night and had a beer. Waiting for this place to become available. The red sauce over there, and again, like the onions and bamboo shoots, some peppers. Should I decide to use those? And some pasta. I'm not sure if it's rice pasta or wheat pasta, and some hot sauce. And this is garlic and something, but it's a sauce, but it's a cold sauce. So I'm gonna I'm not gonna have that little old lady in my face this whole time. I'm actually going to get to grill this beef on my own. So I better get to it. I'll let you know how it is. Alright, so I just turned my beef pieces once. This is going to be a little bit of an expensive meal. Beef is kind of hard to come by here. There's not a lot of land where you can raise beef. There's not a lot of land farmable in this entire country. I ate the corn, waiting on the beef to cook through. Got to keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn. Looking good so far. Well, this is the first time I've ever eaten almost everything. Left just a couple little cloves of garlic. The meat was just fantastic. One thing I noticed about both the pork ribs and the beef, obviously there were some bones in the pork ribs because they're ribs, but both of them were excellent cuts of meat. That whole salad was good. I ate most of the onions along with the beef. I just put them with it. Dipped in that sauce. Made all the pasta. That sauce I'm not a huge fan of. It's really kind of rich. It's tasty. It just doesn't match anything that I've tasted in this country. If that was like with Thai food or something, it would probably be a lot better. And so that's that. So now I'm just going to sit here and finish off my Tara and have a good night. This place is actually pretty festive. Sorry I didn't come in here some other point in time. So there's a guy that stands out front, outside the building, and he fires up like a big fire pit. He gets all the coals started. These coals, I'll tell you what, you can make about 10 times the amount of beef I just ate with just one of these fires. So he basically just puts that in like a deep skillet, like a real, almost like a big iron pot that fits down into the tabletop in an opening, sort of like that one right there. And then they just put like a metal grid, so the only thing they really have to clean is just that grid. Probably have to soak it in lye or something in order to get the fat and everything off it. That's usually what you do is use lye. Sounds kind of gross, but hey, everybody does it. Burger King and all them that use broilers, they all use lye to clean the broilers because it cuts through that grease and takes all that stuff off. And then, of course, they have to go by and dust and clean these spouts. Very, very cool. Neat stuff. I'm glad I actually got to try this once. It's a shame there aren't any Korean restaurants in my hometown that have anything like this. Something I would be willing to do at any point in time.